Today we will be looking at a 5-minute crypto scalping strategy.
But before we do, if you have not watched the first video on the channel and all the videos after that, you need to go do that now. Here at the Academy of Forex, we are building the best trading system possible as a team. There is also a link down below to sign up for TradingView. You can save a little bit of money if you use the link below to sign up for your account. You can also find a link below to join us on Discord. Lastly, if you would like a list of all the indicators we have tested along with their win rates, but you aren't interested in watching all the videos on the channel, you can sign up for our $9 Patreon, and you will receive the complete list of indicators. We also would like to introduce our Patreon exclusive Discord channel. As a $9 Patreon, you will be invited to join an exclusive Discord channel where we will give you a list of winning indicators and links for the MT platform, give you winning strategies, post trade ideas, give advanced advice, and much more. So click the link below to join our Patreon.
Alright, as I said, today we will be looking at a 5-minute crypto scalping strategy. Before we do though, I wanted to put the testing scoreboard up for everyone to see. So to date, we have tested a total of 64 different strategies, with 16 of them being profitable. We've also tested a total of 874 indicators, with 366 of them being winners. The best ones so far were able to achieve a 100% win rate. Now you need to go back and watch those videos to understand the context of how they were able to achieve that. So go back and watch those videos and see what you can get out of those winning indicators. We've also retested in the advanced testing 62 of the winning indicators. 24 of them have been able to maintain the winning status. The best two is 76% win rate. Now keep in mind that we test most of these strategies and indicators on the Forex and crypto market, but they can be applied to just about any market and time frame universally. Alright, so today we will be looking at a 5-minute crypto trading scalping strategy. We haven't done one of these videos in quite a while, and I thought I would do something just a tad bit different than the normal strategy videos. And so in this particular case, what we have is a strategy that I have developed myself using a few indicators. Now, these indicators I'm going to show you are technically default indicators. I haven't changed the calculations or the source. I haven't developed any indicators as far as the indicator itself or the core code really being unique. I haven't developed any of that. I've just kind of tweaked a few standard, very well-known indicators, and we'll go ahead and take a look at those. So the first one we're going to look at is the one that is on screen here. You can see these dots and these arrows here. The green arrows pointing up, the red arrows pointing down. What this is it is a different visual representation of the BB%B, the Bollinger Band %B indicator. If I pull that up here on screen real quick here, Bollinger Band %B. This is what it looks like in its kind of standard form. Let me see if I can collapse some of these down a little bit, just make it a tad bit easier to see. This is what it looks like in kind of a standard form. Looks almost similar to the RSI. And what I've done is I've recoded the indicator, the %B indicator, again, to be a little bit more visual on screen here. There's actually two more components here that I'll add to it right there. So the first thing that we will look at are these little boxes here, the red boxes and the green boxes. The red boxes are when the Bollinger Band %B line is above the 50 marker line, the 50 line right here. When it's above it, you get these red boxes. When it's below the 50 marker, you get these green boxes here. These are good for pullbacks. I don't use them in this strategy. And so in this particular case, I went ahead and I turned those off. Now what we have is these dots here and these triangles. The dots are signifying anytime the Bollinger Band line is outside of the upper band or the lower band. So when it's outside of the upper band, you're going to get these red dots here. When it's below the lower band, you're going to get these green dots here. I've changed the upper band and the lower band as far as their position, the numerical value of them, which is why this is off, kind of not lined up quite right here. So I've narrowed these bands in a little bit. Now, lastly, we have these arrows here, the red arrow, the green arrows. What those are going to indicate is the red arrows is when the Bollinger Band line is above the upper band and then crosses back down. When it makes that cross, it gives a red arrow. On the opposite side, when it is below the lower band and it crosses up, then you'll get this green arrow right here. So again, this is the Bollinger Band %B. You can totally use just this here. You don't need this. I've just coded it again to be a little bit easier to see on screen. Now, the next one we're going to look at is going to be the RSI here. The RSI indicator, this is just your standard RSI. But what I've done is I've recoded this to show when the moving average of the RSI, so this big purple line right here, the very fast kind of twitchy line here with spikes is the RSI line. Then you have a standard moving average that is the moving average of the RSI. And so what I've done is I've coded this to where the moving average is above the 50 marker and is slanting down. So when the 50 or the moving average is above that 50 marker and slanting to the downside, then it shows this red background. When it is below the 50 marker and slanting up, then it shows this green background here. Pretty simple, but a nice little kind of tweak to the RSI that I don't think a lot of people utilize or really mess with a lot. Then lastly, what I have here is the inverse Fisher transform of the RSI. And what this does is it's basically a little bit more of a slower version of the RSI and tends to not be as twitchy. And so what we have is I've recoded this to show when the Fisher transform line is below the lower band. I know these bands are kind of hard to see. If I go in and bump up the, there we go, like that, you can see them a little bit easier now. So these dashed lines here. So when the Fisher transform line is below that lower band and crosses up, we get a green background like this. When it is above the upper band and crosses down, we get a red line background like that. And then lastly, the last indicator that I have is the ATR. The ATR is just a standard ATR. I have not changed that at all. These other three indicators are not published indicators. They will not be published indicators, but I do have the code for them and I am offering those to our patrons. And so if you are part of our Patreon only channel, feel free to just type in the message, tag me and ask me for the code for these. I will give you the code and I will show you how to easily create a indicator out of them with the Pine editor that will go into your own indicator list. You will not be able to publish these. You cannot publish these to the public. It could result in you getting banned, but more importantly, I just don't mess around with publishing. There's very strict rules on what TradingView allows you to publish and the modifications you can make to indicators. And if they do not fit TradingView's criteria, they will ban you from having an account. And so I don't want to risk that, and I don't want anybody else to risk that. You can easily make them and use them yourself in your own indicator list under your own scripts right here. Okay. All right. Now that all that is said, I'm going to try to make this video as fast as I can. But what we're going to do is we're going to look at the strategy itself. So the first thing that we're looking for is these green dots or red dots. Once those green dots or red dots appear, you can look for the arrows if you want to. They will always appear before you get to the next step that you are looking for. And so it's not typically necessary that you look for the green arrows, but they will be there. And so here's a prime example. You can see that we're picking up the green dots and the green arrows. That means that the %B is in a oversold position. Basically, think of like the RSI. It's below that lower band. And these arrows again are the Bollinger Band %B crossing up above that band back into the middle. Now, the next thing that we are going to look for is we are going to look for the green background of the RSI to appear at the same time that we get a green background on the inverse fissure on the RSI. Those need to line up either at the same exact time or at least one candle apart. And then the very last thing that we are going to do once we get all those pieces kind of lined up, and I'll just go ahead and play this forward a little bit here just to kind of show you. So you see here, we're getting that green dot right there. That's showing us that we need to be looking and paying attention. So let's keep playing it forward. Green dots, green dots, green dots. All right, you can see that we get that triangle right there that shows up, like I said, but we have the RSI here that has the green background, but we don't yet have the Fisher transform in the green background as well. Let's just go ahead and play it forward. And right here, you can see that we have those green dots that are showing us we need to be looking for a long. And then we get the green background on the RSI and the green background on the inverse Fisher transform right there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mark that right there, the close of that candle. Now I'm going to set a buy order just right above the close of this candle, the highest point of this candle. Maybe just a couple of percent, 1-2% above, whatever you feel comfortable with, but slightly above that candle. I'm going to move that line so we can see a little better. Now what we're going to do is look to see if we get a trigger on this. Boom, you can see right there, we come up, we trigger our limit order right there, and we would have been in the trade. Now, the take profit and stop on this. So if we hover above the entry candle, this candle right here that gave us our signal candle, we're going to look down here at the ATR. The ATR gives us that number right here above my mouse. Right there, it is 19.46. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a take profit of 2/3 of that percentage. So 19.46, we're going to round it up to 20. If it was, say, like 16, we would round it down to 15. But since it's 19, we're going to round it up to 20. We're going to divide that by 3, gives us 6.666, whatever. And then we're going to times that by 2, gives us 13.33. So we're going to say 13% is going to be the take profit that we're looking for. So then the stop is going to be 2 times that. So the stop is going to be bigger than the take profit. But again, this is a scalping strategy, and that is typical to have a take profit that's smaller than a stop in a scalping strategy. It doesn't have to be that way. I'm sure some other people have scalping strategies that aren't that way, but you'll see that a lot because we're just taking small little bites here. So we're then looking for that 13% here. Looks like we're about 7 right there. I'm going to set this 13%, play this forward here. And you can see that we get that nice spike to the upside right there. Got us to our 13%. Now what I would do is I would set this to where I take maybe half of the position off here, take profit, set the rest to break even, and then let this ride out. And you can take an exit however you see fit. I would suggest maybe taking an exit when you get a signal in the opposite direction. But again, you can do however you see fit. I've seen some of these that run hundreds of percents on the last bit of this. I didn't calculate that in to the overall percentage. I just did the overall percentage as just a flat take profit at the take profit, the whole position, and so on. All right, so now what we're going to do is go ahead and take a look at a short position. All right, so you can see that here that we're starting to get the setup that we're looking for here. We're starting to get those red dots, those red arrows. So we're looking for a short position right here. I'm going to jump back here for just a second and take a look at this. When you have these really big candles like this, if you get a signal on a really big candle like that, it is my opinion that you should ignore it. Price tends to get a little wild, or if you're getting a signal right after a really massive kind of skip or jump in price, then you might want to avoid that. This is a 5-minute scalping strategy, this 5-minute chart. So you can just ignore it for a couple hours and let price kind of play out and settle itself down before you jump in and start taking some trades again. It's totally up to you. Now we'll go ahead and take a look at this. Again, another thing that I was saying was that we'll skip back just a little bit right here to this one to take a look at this. So you see here that we're getting those green dots here, those green arrows. Let's go ahead and play this forward. So we'd be looking for a long trade. You see that we get the cross here above the Fisher transform that crosses up above there in that green background, but we don't have the green background in the RSI. Now you see that I played it forward one candle. We still don't have that green background in the RSI. That means that this trade would be canceled. This is not a valid trade. If on this next candle right here, the green background in the RSI showed up, that would be valid. Now, alternatively, you can do this kind of how you see fit. Now, let's say that this was a valid signal right here on that right there, and you set the your buy order right about there, just right above that candle. And let's say that it doesn't immediately trigger and you play this out some like this and it still hasn't quite triggered, and maybe right here it finally triggers. What I would say is that if the Fisher transform has not maxed out to the upside, then you leave that order is valid and leave it in place. If it maxes out before that order is triggered, go ahead and cancel out that order and don't take the trade and leave it be at that point. So those are just a few things that I was doing during this. So now we're going to go ahead and play this forward here again. We're looking for a short trade now. We got those red dots, the red arrows. We got the maxed out Fisher transform. And a lot of the times when the RSI is also kind of maxed out to the upside or the downside, you get kind of the best moves. So we'll go ahead and play this forward here. Keep playing. And right there, you can see that we have the dots, we have the red arrows pointing down, we have the RSI and the Fisher transform both giving us that red background. So we would set a buy order, a limit order right below this to short this. And so we would say right about there, a sell limit order, I guess I should say, get my verbiage correct. Similar right in that area, go ahead and play it forward. You see it hasn't triggered, didn't trigger the order right there. So now again, I'm just playing this forward and riding it out. You can see I can leave this order here if I wanted to, but it also gave me another signal right here. So I can go ahead and bump this up and say, okay, right here would be my new entry. And right there, I would have been triggered on this. Technically my trigger candle would be right there. 17% is what it's showing on the ATR if I hover over that. So we'll round up to 20. Again, we're gonna divide that by the 3. We're gonna times it by 2. So that way we're taking 2/3 of that. Gives us the 13.33 again. So about 13 pips. Let's go ahead and play this forward. and you can see that we get that nice push to the downside there, which would have come down and gotten us to our take profit. So that's the strategy. That's what it did. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and fast forward through the testing. I know this video is getting a little long. I didn't mean for it. I just know I had to explain a lot of these indicators and such. So I apologize for such a long video. But what I'll do now is go ahead and fast forward through the advanced test, or the testing process. I didn't get all of it in the testing. I thought I was recording, realized I wasn't, then only got a certain fraction. But we'll go ahead and play what I have. Fast forward through that, we'll pick it up on the other side and then go from there. All right, so that's it there for the testing. Before we take a look at what this was able to achieve, I'd like to give a quick shout out to our Discord server. So this is our Discord server here. It is free to join. Most of the channels here are free. You're welcome to join and take part in most of the conversations here in all these free channels. But we do have a Patreon only channel set up just for our patrons to take advantage of some great advanced information that we're putting out for everyone to see. For example, Sasquatch here is an amazing Forex prop trader. He's putting up charts like this on a regular basis where he's marking out areas of support and resistance, areas of interest, sometimes even where he is looking to enter a trade. And he is constantly giving some really great, awesome advice to everybody, showing really how to mark up a chart using price action kind of pattern setups, wedges, support and resistance, all kinds of great stuff. Our newest admin here is Mike from Upright Trading. Does a really great job of helping people out on indicators. He's got quite a few indicators that he has created himself. Some are paid, some are free, but all of them are really, really great indicators. He really goes above and beyond to make sure that he's constantly updating the indicators, looking at new ways to improve the indicators, and just in general helping people, giving them on advice on how to use his indicators as well as other indicators as well, not just his own. Very, very knowledgeable when it comes to indicators, and just all around it's a great environment where everybody's helping everybody out, supporting everybody, giving everybody advice, and just really uplifting each other and helping everybody become better traders. I highly recommend that you join us. All right, again, as well as all that great stuff that you get for being a part of the Discord server, again, I am only offering these indicators to our patrons. And again, send me a message on the Discord. Don't send me a direct message because it's kind of hard. Just tag me and ask me to send you the code, and then maybe I'll direct message you and so on. Again, these are all default indicators. You can absolutely use this strategy on just the default indicators. You don't need these versions, but it's a lot easier to have these. In my opinion, that's the reason why I coded them the way I did, to make this a lot easier, a lot more streamlined. And so, of course, I highly recommend that you use these versions if you want a simplified version, an easier version to get this strategy done. So let's go ahead and take a look at our numbers here. Scroll it back here. Again, look right here. This is, again, what I was talking about with the crazy price action. When you get movement like this, you might want to just set it out, ignore this movement, let things settle down a bit, get back to normal. You see that giant, just crazy whipsaw. So anyways, back to our numbers here. Go ahead and turn off the Bollinger Band. So I did 50 trades. Out of those 50 trades, had 3 of them that were break even. I had 38 winning trades. I had 9 losing trades. Now, if we were risking, say, $100 per trade, that means that our gain on the winning side would have been $3,800. Our losing side would have been $1,800. Our total net gain on this would have been $2,000 over 1 week's time. That's an 80% win rate. That's a really decent win rate for a scalping strategy, a really decent gain on the overall strategy itself. I haven't tested this on anything else. I'll probably play around with it on Forex and some other things to see what it can do on there. But the crypto market is awesome. It's open 24/7. You can do this. You just set and just play this strategy all day long. as long as you want, just racking up win after win after win on this thing. It does really good. These indicators are really solid. And again, I've coded them to where they're super easy to use, and visually they just are a no-brainer. You can just watch for those cues, grab your trades, grab your profit, take it and run. So, all right, that's it for this video. Again, sorry it got so long. I needed to explain those indicators, but all in all, a super solid strategy. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want the code to these indicators, again, join our Patreon. Tag me in a post and let me know. I'll send that code over to you and even show you how to add them and create them into a indicator of your own. It's real super easy, not very hard at all. All right, that's it for this one. We'll see you on the next video.